What was something that happened in your school that caused a rule to be made?
Girls decided that Friday would be a day to wear weird socks. They all came with colorful socks. The school forbid non-white socks the same day.
Really? Seems like such a stupid, innocent thing to ban. It was the new principal. Wanted it to look like he was doing something. Banned theater classes because theater distracts the students from classes. He'd fit right in a Footloose remake.
Ah yes, this class distracts you from your classes. Someone snuck into the bathroom room during class, unscrewed the screws holding one of the toilets in place and stole it. It reappeared around a week later in the sports field, so they had to pass a rule not to steal toilets.
MF stole the goddamn toilet. Can't have shit in Detroit.
Can't have a shit either apparently. In the fall, it was always tradition for the seniors to steal as many pumpkins as possible from around town and write their class number in pumpkins on the front lawn of the school. Our grade stole so many pumpkins that local farms and families contacted police, and our school had to officially end the tradition in 2008.
Little do you know, the years before you went out and bought the pumpkins, but I always said they stole them just so that when your year had their turn it would end in a bad situation.
Someone once lit a fire in a bathroom stall. The school shut all the bathrooms permanently unless you asked the teacher for permission. The boys complained, but the girls revolted once they realized how their periods would end up.
Makes me think of how my middle school only had a 4-minute passing period. In these 4 minutes you had to basically walk straight from one class to the other. You only had time to access your locker if it was on the way, or during lunch. And backpacks weren't allowed, so you had to carry all your books and binders in your hands. They expected us in this insanely short amount of time to squeeze in all our bathroom trips, which were always crowded, or you had to get permission from a teacher. Having a regular pee-poop schedule would get you in trouble for going every day at the same time. Middle school was stupid.
Banning bathroom use? That's super shitty.
Yeah, that stinks. In middle school, a couple of jerks kept making fun of a girl because a tampon fell out of her backpack. Solution: we were banned from bringing feminine hygiene products to school. You had to go see a teacher to get one. The rule was gone in under a week.
Why punish the poor girl for something the dudes did? Also, guys need to grow up. Seriously. Plus, it's a really stupid idea to ban feminine hygiene products.
It distracts the boys. Same reason girls aren't allowed to wear spaghetti straps and such. In other words, because administrators are stupid, boys will be boys, so we should put an extra burden on girls.
Over the PA system, our high school principal read the following thought of the day during homeroom. A man is not a man until he kisses the lips that do not speak. After that, they had to be submitted to the secretary and approved. Up until then, you could just submit them by putting them in his in-basket. Our high school always had seniors do the morning announcements live over video. These two seniors always finished with a joke. One day the joke was, "What did the vampire say to his girlfriend? See you next month." I believe that happened early on my freshman year. They didn't start allowing students to do announcements for 3 years, and then they were pre-recorded.
Took me a second to get the joke. That's pretty good.
My class was the one that got all versions of dodgeball banned for everyone. We invented a new version of dodgeball that was a free-for-all in a field. There wasn't even really a way to lose or win. There was one ball and like 30 to 40 kids. Whoever had the ball just pelted the closest person to them as hard as they could. And everyone who didn't have the ball ran in and tried to take it. Inevitably people got hurt, but no one ever reported it because it was fun. Then one day the embodiment of Randall Weems got a bloody nose and the kid ratted out the whole recess group. There was an assembly and dodgeball never happened again. I'm told that it's still banned to this day. Some 15 years later,
my grade and the grade above us got dodgeball banned at our middle school. Our two classes were really competitive, so dodgeball was our monthly reward when we behaved. One of the guys in the grade above me threw the ball hard enough and in a weird enough way that he broke his arm from throwing the ball. So dodgeball has been banned since that day, and is still banned 15 years later.
People started a big fight where they started throwing bottles at each other, so my school banned bottles that contain more than 1 liter of water. Doesn't really stop anyone though. We had a kid put vodka in her water bottle, so we weren't allowed to bring water bottles to school at all. We were, of course, allowed to buy them from the vending machine. See, I just put the vodka in my orange juice. Her kid from another school snuck in a class by climbing into the bottom floor window and then threw a trash can at the substitute in that class. He then tried to escape through the same window, but his pants got caught on the handle and he had to take him off. He was caught by security pretty quickly since he was the only guy walking down the street in his underwear. Anyway, after that we were never allowed to have the windows open. Not even on the 2nd or 3rd floors. Edit. Grammar and shit.
Oh my. Imagine being the security and seeing this random dude in underwear just wandering around. Man, I wouldn't stop telling this story to every single person I know.
It's actually still kind of a legend at my school. I was lucky enough to have a sibling in the class he broke into. I didn't add this to the original post because it just sounds too crazy and wasn't totally relevant. But before throwing the trash can he yelled, "Give me your energy." Quote, the entire class raised their hands in the air. He then screamed at the top of his lungs, "I just fucking threw that thing with the strength of 30. Riled up teenagers. I live in the Alps and it used to snow a lot during winter times. Our school uses gravel, the one with the sharp edges, as road salt. Because of the snow, most of the younger students went out in the breaks to make big snowball fights. But one day somebody didn't pay attention to his snowball and he threw it with a bunch of stones. In it another player. The boy who got hit in the face and lost one eye because of the stone in the snowball. Now we are not allowed to let snowball fights happen anymore. Did anything happen to the kid who threw it? IDK man. I don't think he got punished badly. I think he just got like 1 week of Gemeinschaftsarbeit, where you just have to clean the classrooms and empty trash cans and scrub the tables etc. He didn't do it on purpose. It was a bad accident. No more collecting rocks during recess. In 1st grade, one started collecting rocks around the playground and in the tree line next to it. My friends joined in and soon other groups formed and suddenly we were all stealing these rocks from each other. Kids would even ride their bikes up after school to move them between gang hideouts. Sometimes the leaders would be invited to the other hideouts to negotiate treaties that would fail. Anyway, eventually, the principal stepped in and told us no more of it, and at that point, I realized I started a series of gang wars. And people wonder why us humans have wars. We want each other's rocks or materials rather, so not entirely wrong. In elementary school, when silly bands, those shaped rubber bands you could wear as bracelets, were popular, some kids wore so many up their arms that they had such poor blood circulation in their hands to the point where it was concerning. So, the principal banned silly bands.
Silly bands is a silly ban. Rule made. Teachers to always allow kids to visit the toilet during class. Reason the rule was made. Math teacher misunderstands the meaning of urgent. A kid shits his pants mid-lecture. First one I've seen so far where the rule was made due to the stupidity of a teacher rather than a pupil. I think I've talked about this on other threads, but here it goes. In first and second grade, my friends and I used to catch spiders and bring them into school to show them off to each other and see who caught the coolest spider. Our teacher put up with it at first because we were good about not opening the containers we kept the spiders in while we were inside, and we stacked all the containers next to the door away from our stuff. That all worked well until I tripped while walking through the door. I landed on the pile of containers, which managed to open a bunch of them as your spiders scurried everywhere. An entire classroom of second graders screamed, and then bringing spiders in became an official rule. Whoops. This sounds like it belongs in a sitcom like Modern Family or The Office. I like to bring spiders to school to show my bestie. It's a real cool experience. Nothing wrong with that. Quote. Asterisk scene cuts to you falling into a pyramid of spider containers. Spiders crawling everywhere frantically. Little kids are screaming for their lives. The teacher has her head in her hands. Asterisk. You being interviewed afterwards. Yeah, maybe bringing tons of spiders to school wasn't a good idea.
One day in 8th grade, a guy asked our girl during lunch. She said yes, and his whole friend group started clapping for "Hi Monsieur." Soon the entire cafeteria joined in clapping, even though 90% of us has no idea what we were clapping for. 3 minutes later, the assistant principal comes in and lectures us for 10 minutes about how rude we were, and how much trouble the school would have been in if someone from the district saw that. Clapping has been banned ever since. My high school had mass random clappings at least once a week. Every week. For all 3 years that I ate lunch in the cafeteria, LMAO. And I suspect many other schools were similar. Me and another guy in class would make audiences start to clap at silent portions of theater plays, etc. We'd wait for the perfect opportunity, like the fading down of a song or a pause in someone's line, and try ever so slightly with not so audible claps and increase intensity if people joined in. There were about 2 to 3 wrongly timed applauses each time we were there. I had completely forgotten about this until now. Incredibly rude but so fun to a couple of 10th graders.
I don't know why, but I could not stop laughing out loud reading this. The phantom shitter. Every day, for some odd reason, someone in my school smeared shit on the floor or on the wall in the basement bathroom. They then made you have to scan an ID card to get into and out of the bathrooms. I still wonder to this day why anyone would do this.
If Reddit has taught me anything, is that hundreds if not thousands of schools and workplaces have or have had a phantom shitter.
Years ago, someone posted a picture on Reddit of what they found in their school bathroom. The toilets were the type where there was no tank, just a pipe leading in with a valve and one of those long 4 or 5 inch handles. The type you could just kick with your foot if you felt like it, since they worked no matter which way you push them. Someone had taken a rather firm, clay-like consistency shit and perfectly inserted the handle into it, like sheathing a sword. The handle was now just a big turd. I don't know why, but I couldn't stop laughing.
My kid had one of those when he was in elementary school. It became a big issue because small children doing that is often a sign of child abuse. The school pleaded parents to come forward with any information and told the kids they can tell them anonymously and not to worry about punishment. They eventually found out who it was but didn't release the name. Hopefully that kid is okay.
They told us the next student caught climbing on the roof would be expelled. So we cut that out. You cut out the roof.
No more roof to walk on then. 2 kids were caught having sex in the bathrooms of the theater, which apparently was something that happened all the time. Those bathrooms used to be open all the time, but after that they made a rule that they would be locked during the day and only opened them for performances. It really sucked because those bathrooms were so much nicer than the regular ones and were always a Nice quiet escape. A nice quiet escape for people to have sex. We, theater kids, used to eat lunch in the lobby of our auditorium, as it was quiet, and the auditorium was more of a home. Then one day some chick went into the bathroom and literally ripped one of the small doors off. Me and the director stayed after rehearsal one day until like 11:30 trying to attach a new door. I'm kind of bent over so I can hold the bottom of the door and my director can use the power drill to put the screws in. And in comes our janitor, and she sees a 30-year-old man holding a power drill behind a bent-over 17-year-old boy. Look on her face was priceless.
Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.